Does anyone else feel like instead of entering 2026 feeling a newfound sense of motivation and inspiration, you're instead entering the new year on the verge of like a quarter life crisis? I think I kind of hate this time of year, honestly, which is something I am starting to discover about myself. And I think it's kind of funny because if you look back on past videos I've made during the new year on this channel, they seem very motivational and inspirational. And I seem like I'm in good spirits and I'm like ready to tackle the new year and set resolutions and stick to them and change my habits and all those things. And I don't know that those things weren't actually true at the time of filming those videos, but I do feel like maybe I was kind of gaslighting myself to think I really felt that way. I think I've always liked the idea of a new year and what we as a society like kind of make it represent. But I'm realizing the older I get and the harder I realize that life is, that New Year's are not all that they're cracked up to be. I'm a little bit nervous to film this video because I don't want the message to be skewed in any way. I feel like a more negative video like this could come across as me complaining or being ungrateful, and that's definitely not the goal of this video and not how I feel. I want to acknowledge right off the bat that I am very privileged and I do have a pretty good life. I mean, I'm very well supported financially and just like familially. I have great relationships with my family and friends. I have all the support that a girl could wish for. So let's just get that straight right up front. I have a good life and I'm very privileged. But I think the average person would probably say that they have a decent life and they're decently privileged. And I think the average person, at least like in America, would probably be in a similar boat to me and would describe their circumstances pretty similarly. Although in this economy, that might be a little short-lived. But I think it's hard to keep those things in mind and to not get caught up in the world of social media. I feel like this is a very hot topic right now. Everyone's talking about social media and a lot of its negative impacts on us and like the influential figures on social media that we ourselves have given a platform by watching them. There's a lot more discussion starting to be had about how they might be negatively impacting us. And so I feel like this topic that I want to discuss kind of goes right alongside that idea, because I feel like the feelings that I'm having, that I think a lot of us average people have, stem from all of the talk around social media and influencer culture right now. And I think that this social media and influencer culture negatively impacts a lot of different areas of like the average Joe's life and like mindset and mental well-being. But I think the turn of a new year and the whole concept of like new year, new me, setting resolutions, having all this inspiration and motivation to like really get your life together in the new year, I feel like that is just one area of our lives under this massive umbrella that could be very negatively impacted by social media and influencer culture. And if you're not really familiar with this idea of like influencer culture that I'm talking about, this probably isn't the best video to start with on that, because I'm not like gonna go unpack all of that, because I feel like there are plenty of videos out there and that's not really the focus of this. The focus is more so the impact that that has on people like us in the new year. But I would recommend that you go watch some like more deep dive analysis type videos on the kind of like the changes in social media and influencer culture over the past couple of years and like how it's changed for the worse. That's just if you want like a deeper understanding of like what I'm talking about. But basically, I think a lot of the habits that influencers practice and preach and throw in our faces on social media, like overconsumption and extremely extravagant lifestyles of luxury and beautiful mansions and multi-$1,000 trips that they go on for free. It makes it really difficult to look at your own average life and not be upset with where you're at and feel like you're not in a good place and feel like your goals are unattainable. I will say, planning for this video and like sitting down and making myself film it, I'm already feeling like I'm in a better place heading into the new year, just like saying these things out loud and addressing them and like talking to myself about it, like letting myself realize these things that I'm feeling. But literally, like last night, I swear I'm entering my quarter life crisis. I'm 24. I'm just about there. This is where it happens, right? Just last night, I was like having a crash out. Like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I'm not like advancing my career in any significant way. For those who don't know, I went to film school. Well, not really. I majored in film production at a normal university. And that probably makes sense to you if you're seeing that I love making videos on YouTube. But like the job that I currently work is a part-time job that has nothing to do with my field. And this is kind of where I'm putting all my energy right now because I have dreams of taking this places that I think it could go. But also there's a lot out of my control, obviously. And there's a lot of risk in putting so much time and effort into this when it makes me nothing. And on the side, I'm working a job that also doesn't make me much and it doesn't advance me in my career. Like all of the like logical flags are being raised in my head, and like the logical devil on my shoulder is like, you're probably not making the smartest decisions right now. And so I think all of those things kind of compounded and led me to begin my quarter life crisis. Okay, let me try to put it this way. I feel like there's two paths you can take in this life. This is from a very narrow-minded tunnel vision perspective, but there's like two general paths that you can now take in life post schooling in order to make money and provide for you and your family. And again, I live in America, so this is coming from a very American perspective. But I guess to put things simply, there's two paths that you can follow in the modern day with the rise of social media post schooling. So there's go to college, get a degree, or go to trade school and learn how to do a very specific skill, and then go enter that workforce and work your way up, make more money with more experience, go to bigger and better companies in your field, and just basically climb the corporate ladder until you retire at 65. Again, that's a very generalized description, but that's path one. And then with the rise of social media and technology, I feel like there's a new path that has emerged, which is kind of create your own brand or business or some sort of self-employment type thing through social media and the internet and follow that path. And you could see great success or you might not. And so I feel like between the two of those things, I have been following the social media path as like my main goal. But obviously that's a hard and scary thing to do when you're not making a lot of money from it or any for a lot of people. And so it's hard to like justify putting so much time and energy into that when there's this like tried and true method. I mean, there's a reason that like for decades, this is what people do. They go to college after school or they go to trade school and they go get a job and work for corporate America until they can retire. Like that's the tried and true method. That's what we do here. So this new wave of like careers on social media and being content creators and stuff, that's obviously a very new thing. And so it can be very scary to pursue. And so it's just like hard to not doubt yourself, especially like I feel like in the new year, it's just like this time of year inspires you to think about these things and like kind of encourages you to think more deeply about like your life choices for whatever reason. We love to do that as the new year comes. And so I feel like that's why like I'm having these thoughts right now, is because we're about to enter a new year and everyone's doing their own self-reflections. And here I am like letting the angel on one shoulder and the devil on another be like, you're doing stupid stuff. You shouldn't be doing that. Or you should, girl, go chase your dreams. Like you don't want to be miserable. Like do what you love. And I feel like that's just a constant battle, not even like social media versus corporate. Like that can even be a battle within the corporate world. I mean, I went through that in college too, like feeling like I need to go do something in STEM so I can make more money because creative artsy jobs don't make you any money. But then I love being creative and artsy. And so obviously I ended up landing on that and doing film. But that's very much a battle that we just like have as members of the working class. Like, do I do something that will make me money, or do I do something that I enjoy that might make me less? Anyway, I feel like that turned into a really long ramble that might seem irrelevant, but I promise it's relevant. That whole debate and me feeling like I'm maybe not doing the most logical, safest thing for my career right now, that's kind of what like inspired I was about to say inspired this quarter life crisis, but I guess kicked it off. And I promise it ties into social media and influencer culture, because I want to keep chasing this dream, and I do plan to, but I want to keep chasing it. But it feels irresponsible, and I have all of these goals that I really want to achieve, but it feels unattainable, and I feel like I can't get there. And it's because of how these social media creators and influencers portray themselves and their lifestyle. And even more so, if you dig a little deeper, it's seeing these extremely out of touch, obnoxious, and arguably financially irresponsible creators that you just feel like are so inauthentic, and you're like, I can do so much better, but then they're getting millions of views and millions of dollars, and you're like, that's a little discouraging. I mean, you see it all the time, like these massive influencers, especially over on TikTok. I don't think it's a coincidence that the rise in TikTok coincides with the rise in influencer culture and the start of us critiquing that type of lifestyle. But anyway, you see these massive creators over there making so much money, doing such ridiculous, out of touch, inauthentic things, and their followers are calling them out for it, and people are calling them out, but somehow they're still able to make a living that way. And so I feel like that can be really discouraging too. But even outside of that, just like for the average person who maybe doesn't want a social media career and isn't pursuing anything on social media, but still is seeing that type of content, it can still very much discourage you. And I think that's the point that I want to get to in this video, which I hope you're still with me. I hope you've stuck through the rambling. I just feel like I have a lot of thoughts, but that's like the heart of this video, is that the average American has so many goals, and like they're so much smaller than like the things that these people are achieving too, but they feel so unattainable and out of reach because people online, like these massive influencers, are getting so much more than you could ever imagine, and so much more than you even like want. Like you're just like, I just want to be able to afford groceries and eat out once a week. I just want to be able to go grab a cup of coffee more than once a week with a friend and not feel like I'm blowing my money. Like very simple things like that. That's what like the average person is worried about. But then there's these people online freaking spending thousands of dollars on like new clothes or new purses or new shoes. And it's like, damn, like I'm just over here trying to like have a little bit of extra money to spend on myself every once in a while after meeting my bare necessities to survive. And they're over there spending like an entire year's salary for some people on a closet makeover. And I don't think what I'm saying right now is revolutionary. I think a lot of people have talked about this when I was mentioning, like, if you want to do a deeper dive into influencer culture, like go watch some more deep dive analysis videos on it, because I'm not going to unpack it all right now. But I feel like those videos touch on this same thing, like just the general aspect of like the average person is struggling to get by week in this economy. And then there's people online with millions of dollars spending an ungodly amount of money on extremely unimportant, useless things. And it just makes you feel even more discouraged that you can't hit your simple goals in life. And look at what they can do. And I feel like I've just been kind of feeling that way in the new year, because I have these goals. Like I want to grow my YouTube channel. I want to be able to do something like this that's creative and fun and enjoyable for me full time. But instead, I'm having to grind when I'm not working to try to get this to go somewhere. But then on the side, I'm working a job that I'm not going to expose myself and say where I work, but like the hours just make it hard for me to do. Like, oh my gosh, it's such a struggle because I work really, really early mornings where I work. Like I wake up at 3 a.m. and I start work at 4 a.m. So like very early mornings, and I have such a love-hate relationship with it because I love getting off so early. Like today I got off at 10 a.m. and that's how I'm able to come home and like film this video during my free time. But on the other side of things, I'm a human, right? There's only so much I can do and so much energy I have. And so I'm also just like so tired. And I think that's another point that so many people would relate to in this. Like, yeah, great, I have all these big goals and I even might have ideas and ways that I might be able to achieve them, but I'm just so tired. Again, I keep coming back to this whole like trying to work a part-time job and work my social media on the side so that one day I can turn this into a career. And obviously like that's just my personal circumstance right now. So that's why it's like a great example and analogy that I keep coming back to. But this can apply to like so many people. I feel like it does apply to the average person probably. But I'm like, I feel like I know a lot about social media over the years that I've been doing it. I've kind of seen what works, what doesn't. And I feel like I'm knowledgeable enough and I have the skill set and the creativity to get to where I want to be. But I just, it's so much work and I'm so tired because I can't just commit my life to doing this full time. Like I have to find other ways to make money by working a job outside of this. So it's like, I can't just put all my time and energy into this, even though I want to. So it's like, yeah, I have these goals and I might even know how to attain some of them, but I just don't have the time or energy to do it, you know? Anyway, I think that's just like the main thing I want to get across. And I'm really hoping that this video finds people just like me that are just an average working class American trying to get by, trying to make ends meet and pay their bills and have some extra fun money on the side. And the reason I want this video to reach those people is because I feel like most people feel this way. I feel like the average person, at least in America, very much has goals that they want to achieve, but they just feel like they can't because they're too tired or they don't have enough time because they're working this job just to like make ends meet. And I feel like most of us feel that way, but it can feel so lonely when you feel that because that's not what you see online. See, why didn't I just say that from the beginning? I feel like that was such a beautifully eloquent way to articulate what I've been trying to explain for the past 30 minutes. But yeah, it can feel really lonely to have these feelings because it doesn't seem to be what everyone else around you is feeling, but I think it is. That's the thing. It's just those people are not the ones getting through to you on social media. The people you're seeing online are living these great, beautiful, extravagant lives, and they're so comfortable and they're working their dream job and they get to be at home with their family all day because they're their own boss and they can do whatever they want, and they're going on all these really cool trips and getting all these really cool brand deals and living in a really beautiful house. And so it feels like you're the only one in the world who feels this way. It feels like I have goals and dreams that I want to attain too, but I can't get there. What's wrong with me? Why can't I get there? And it feels so lonely because that's what you're seeing online. But I would argue the average American probably feels the same as you and me. I do think though, like all of the viewers of these big influencers who make so much money and live such extravagant lifestyles, like all of the viewers are like us. It's people like you and me watching them, giving them the support that's giving them these lifestyles. And I think people are starting to wake up and realize that. I think that's why there's so much more critiquing of these influencers' lives now than there was a couple years ago. I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that we are basically funding their lifestyle with our views, and that's what they're choosing to do with the money that they are getting from our views. And so, like many channels have said in analysis videos like this, I do think we're starting the decline of influencers and influencer culture. I think people are just getting fed up with it because it doesn't make them feel good, and it makes them feel lonely when they have very simple goals that they just can't achieve because it's freaking hard to live in America in this economy. Like it's hard out here for the average person, and it can feel really lonely and discouraging seeing those influencers online living how they live and feeling like you're the only one struggling, but really the majority of us are. And so I think in the new year, in the next few years, maybe we're going to start to see a decline in support for these large influencers who have nothing better to do than to throw their money at all these luxury brands. And I hope that that does happen because I think that would be very healthy for people like you and me to stop seeing all these people just like throwing their money in our faces online. And I want to be clear that I'm not the type of person to be like, how dare you spend your money how you want to spend it? Like at the end of the day, yes, they earned that money. It's their money. They can do with it what they want. And I totally see that argument. But there gets to be a point where it's just so it's just so much. Like, listen, I'm not going to lie. If I had all the money they had, yeah, I would buy a nice house too. Yeah, I would buy nicer clothes too. Like, I feel like a lot of us would upgrade a lot of aspects of our lifestyle if we had that amount of money in our hands. And maybe not everyone is self-aware enough to admit that, but I think a lot of us would, but not to the extent that these people go. That's the thing. It's the extent that they go to. I'm like, how much is enough? When will you be satisfied? So anyway, yes, they can spend their money how they want. Yes, it's none of our business, even though they kind of make it our business by posting about it online to all their viewers, but they can spend their money however they want. It's their money, but it's just like the lack of like humility, and they just have so much greed. They just want more and more and more. And then there's people like you and me seeing that, being like, why do I feel like I'm the only person in the world that's struggling? But that's not true. Most of us are. I do want to reiterate, like I said at the beginning, this is not meant to come across as like a rant or me being ungrateful or sounding like I have it so bad, because like I said at the beginning, I don't. I really don't. I am very privileged and I do have a very comfortable life. But again, life is hard. Prices are freaking high right now. I mean, it's just, life is stressful. It's a stressful time to be alive. But my intention is not to make this video to throw a pity party for myself, and it's not so that people watch it and go, damn, look at this chick crashing out on the internet about her life. Like, that is not the goal for this. I really hope I articulated everything well, and that's not what's being received by the viewers, you guys. I have a good life. I'm very fortunate. I'm very privileged, but it's hard to not want more. I still have goals that I want to achieve that feel difficult to get to, and it's hard to not want more and feel even more discouraged about those things that you're working towards when you look online. I mean, social media literally revolves around people showing the greatest parts of their lives and like basically pushing all their life highlights in our faces. Like, that's how social media survives. If everyone was just posting depressing shit all the time, no one would consume it. Like, why would we? Like, that's not what we want to see. So it's like, that's how social media survives. So naturally, I'm going to feel insecure about the goals that I have that I haven't achieved yet, and worry I might not be able to achieve in a reasonable amount of time when I see everyone online achieving those things and far surpassing them. A very personal example is just like how I want to raise my kids and take care of them. I think this is a great example of what I'm trying to explain, because it's not so like material focused. It's not like I want to make money so I can buy a nicer house, you know, like, yeah, I'd love to do that too. But one of the main goals I have in life is being able to either be a stay-at-home mom with my kids, or at least like stay at home but working something like this, like something I can do as a stay-at-home mom and still provide some money for the family. I want to do everything I can to not have to send my kids to daycare and like childcare. And that's nothing against families who have to do that. Obviously, like, it's a choice and it's something that you have to do. Like, you have to do what's best for your family. But I would love to not have to do that. My mom was a stay-at-home mom and raised all three of us our whole childhood, and it was very special. Like, I love that she was able to do that, and I'm sure there were a lot of sacrifices that they made that they're still feeling the effects of now, having my mom stay home and not work all those years. But like, I think that was so valuable to me as a child, and so I want to give that to my future kids in some capacity. And so seeing these people online far surpass all of that. Like, they're making way more money than they even would need to justify staying at home and watching their kids, but they're still making a ton of money and being able to stay home with their kids. Like, it's hard to see stuff like that and then not feel discouraged. Like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to get there? Like, they can do it. I feel like I can't. Am I the only one who feels this way? Like, I feel like maybe that's a good example of what I'm trying to say. It can feel so personal and it can feel like you're the only one out here struggling, but that's not the case. And I guess that's why I wanted to make this video. But I don't just want this to be a pity party and be super negative and discouraging. I want to try to end on a positive note, because while life is hard and life can be discouraging and social media can make us feel like we suck and we're so far behind in life, at the end of the day, you and I are the ones with the most power to do anything about that. So I don't just want to sit here and be like, dang, this sucks. I have no motivation going to 2026. Bye. Like, I want to try to take steps towards feeling not like this in the new year. And so I really just want this video to like open up a conversation perhaps between me and you guys and the viewers, between you guys. I hope that people who also feel this way going into 2026 find this video, and I would love for all of us to kind of encourage each other in the comments. Maybe we can be each other's motivation, if nothing else. If you have any ideas or like new habits or anything that you're planning to implement in the new year that you think would help someone else to hear, please comment below. I would also love to hear, how are you keeping yourself motivated? How are you inspiring yourself as we enter this new year? I think something I want to try this year that's different from past years is not setting like massive big goals for the new year or anything that I can work towards, because again, I don't feel like I'm in a healthy place to do that. I'm like, I think of a big goal and I'm like, I'll never get there, and I'm just not in a good place for that right now. But I do think there are a lot of small, very simple, tiny things that I can start to implement into like my everyday life, like just everyday habits that I think would make a big difference. I think, for example, another thing that has sent me into this spiral and into my quarter life crisis is just like the unhealthy habits I've established, especially since starting this job that I work. Like I said, I work so freaking early that I come home and I'm so exhausted that I have a really hard time motivating myself to do anything for the rest of the day. But I get home at like 10 a.m., 12 at like the latest. So I have so much day left that I could do really great productive things with, or even if they're not like super productive, just like creative or like reading a book, like just any sort of hobby. But instead, I'll usually just like rot on the couch and watch hours of YouTube. Like, and I love YouTube, and I don't think I watch like really bad content. Like, I don't watch brain rot shit. Like, I watch like educational videos and stuff, like just like about the world, and like, I mean, analysis videos like this, but still like hours and hours of YouTube every single day. Like, I could be more productive with my time. And so it's just things like that. Like, I just feel like I've established such unhealthy habits that like I look at myself and I'm like disgusted, which is so dramatic. I'm fine. But like, I'm just like, I don't want to be that. Like, I look at that, I'm like, that's not me. I don't want to be her. I don't want to get home from work and then rot on the couch for 6 hours watching a screen and then go to bed. Like, no. And I can't be upset if I don't hit my goals, if that's how I'm spending my free time, right? Anyway, so I want to like implement a couple very small habits that I think will just like hopefully get me out of that mindset, especially like maybe even prevent me from getting into that, because I plan to do it like right when I get home from work. So basically, when I get home from work, I want to have a few things that I do every single morning as like my morning routine, because again, waking up at 3 a.m., going to work at 4, I don't have time to do an extensive morning routine to like get myself in a productive, motivated mood, right? Like, no, it's too early for that. So I want to like get home from work, shower, and like unwind from work, and then like start my morning routine habits then, that I think can then propel me into like a much more productive and motivated and inspired state, and will hopefully prevent me from rotting on the couch for hours after work. So for example, after I get home from work and I shower and everything, I want to make my freaking bed. And if you are a longtime viewer, this is not the first time that I've talked about how much I hate making my bed. I don't know why. I cannot explain it, but it is like the worst chore to me. I feel like it's so annoying. Like, I just hate it, but I love what it does. One, for the room, it like pulls a room together. The room looks so much messier when your bed isn't made. But also, it's just like such a productive way to start your morning. It's like, I don't know. I feel like it just puts you in this productive mindset. Like, it's kind of like the equivalent of like cleaning up the house and decluttering. Like, you feel better after, which that's another thing. I want to make my bed, and then I want to just pick up the house. Like, I'm looking right now, and there's things that like it would take me 5 minutes to pick up. Like, there's earbuds on the coffee table, and there's like the remote isn't in the box that it goes in, and Suki's got some toys out. I've got slippers here. Like it's stuff like that would take me 5 minutes to like put away, and then the house would feel so much less cluttered. Which I think, me personally, I think maybe it depends on the person, but me personally, I'm very affected by my space. I think like when there's clutter, it's a lot easier for me to feel unmotivated and like just crash on the couch and be like, ugh, the house is a mess. I'm tired. I'm going to crash and rot for hours. So I feel like starting my day by making my bed and then picking up the house so it's just less cluttered and more put together, I feel like that would be a great start. And then I want to like water the plants or something. Like, obviously not every plant needs to be watered every day, so I need to do more research and figure out a schedule for them. Again, if you've been around for a while, you know I have a brown thumb, but I really want a green thumb, and I have tried time and time again, and then it just falls off. But I want to like implement that after those couple like cleaning chores. Go water the plants, because guess what? You go outside to water plants, and going outside and getting fresh air is great. Like, I think that would be great even in this crappy winter weather. Anyway, I just think those are 3 very small things that would take me less than 20 minutes to do after getting home from work and showering and everything and unwinding. Like starting like basically treating getting home from work as the start of my morning, even though I've been up for hours at that point, and doing these things as if it's like the beginning of my morning routine. Making my bed, picking up the house, watering the plants. And then I hope that doing that consistently every morning after work will kind of like put me in this mindset of being more productive with my time and not just like wasting away on the couch. And like in an ideal world, I would love for those things to lead into a really productive work day working on my YouTube and stuff like this, because that's the time that I have to work on it, is when I'm not at my actual job. But also if there's a day where I'm just tired and I am feeling a little bit less creative and unmotivated because I'm tired from my job, like that's fine, that happens. But like not letting that still ruin the whole day by rotting on the couch. Like instead, I read a book for a little bit. I pursue some creative hobby. I'm such an artistic, creative person. I love to do arts and crafts, but like I just never find the time to do anything anymore. So it's like if there's a day where I don't feel productive and motivated to work on my YouTube in my free time after work, that's fine. But spend it doing something you enjoy. Crochet, go paint something, go read a book instead of rotting on the couch watching TV for hours. And those are the 3 like main habits that I'm planning to try to implement every morning after I get home from work to just like get myself started on the right foot. Is that a saying? I haven't actually implemented those things yet. I'm just telling you that I think I might try to do something like that because I think that could help me start to get out of this slump. But I would love to hear what you guys plan on doing. If you have any new habits you're going to implement, kind of like my own, big or small, or if you have any goals that you're planning on working towards, or just any inspirational quotes to give us all some motivation, please comment below and let's just start a motivational, uplifting conversation for all of us average Joes. And if you like this video and you got anything from it, any of it resonated with you, please consider subscribing and supporting me in my journey growing this YouTube channel. I guess I do have one goal for the new year for this channel, and that is to just like keep being me and not let myself get caught up in everything I see online, even though the theme of this video was everything I see online makes me feel horrible about myself. But I want to keep being me, and I want to keep creating very authentic and real and relatable content like this, because most of America feels like this and not like those influencers online. So I hope that you feel that this video aligned with that goal and you do feel like this was raw and real and relatable and authentic, because that's what we're trying to be over here on this channel. We're just trying to show real life as a 20-something-year-old navigating this insane world that we live in. Please consider subscribing if you want to see more from me, and don't forget to comment and motivate everyone around you.